It's strange, isn't it? You treat her with love, time, attention. She gets bored. But when another man ignores her, barely looks her way, stays emotionally distant, she obsesses. She checks his stories, stalks his silence, craves his validation. Why? Because women aren't addicted to affection. They're addicted to uncertainty. In this video, we're diving into the real reason women fall for men who ignore them, and how understanding this can make you emotionally untouchable. Number 1. Ignoring triggers her deepest fear, rejection. Every woman, no matter how confident she appears on the surface, carries one fear buried deep in her psychological core: the fear of abandonment. This isn't weakness, it's evolution. Her biology has been shaped over thousands of years to crave security, to scan for threats, and to attach to those who appear emotionally elusive. When a man pulls back or ignores her, it doesn't push her away like most men assume. It activates something primal. Her mind enters a spiral, not of affection, but of fixation. Why isn't he noticing me? Did I lose my value? What did I do wrong? These questions don't come from love. They come from an urgent need to resolve inner chaos. Her brain isn't chasing connection, it's chasing clarity. And this is where most men misunderstand female psychology. When you ignore her, you don't become invisible, you become a mirror, a reflection of her deepest insecurity, a spotlight on the part of her that feels unworthy, unseen, and uncertain. That discomfort doesn't make her let go. It makes her try harder. It ignites an obsession, not for you, but for the emotional relief she believes only your attention can provide. She doesn't want the man. She wants the cure for her unease. So when you hold your silence, when you stay grounded and detached, you disrupt her emotional equilibrium. You interrupt the validation loop. And suddenly, she's not in control. She's chasing the very thing she can't name. It's not about being manipulative. It's about understanding the subtle mechanics of desire. Because in the end, what you withhold says more than what you give. And the man who masters silence doesn't lose power. He becomes it. Number 2. Attention is her currency, and you withhold it. Women don't just crave love, they crave attention. Constant, emotional, validating attention. It's not about gifts or grand gestures. It's about presence, being seen, being responded to. So when a man doesn't follow that script, when he doesn't flood her inbox with compliments, when he doesn't rush to reply, when he stays emotionally calm and neutral, something unusual happens. She gets curious, confused, hooked, because now the roles are reversed. He becomes the mystery. He becomes the value. Suddenly, she's the one investing. She texts first. She double-checks if you saw her story. She starts overthinking what you're thinking. Not because she's falling in love, but because the lack of emotional feedback is driving her internal system into alert. Every minute you stay silent, her curiosity deepens, her emotions escalate, and her attention shifts from casual to intense. You see, attention is her addiction, and silence is withdrawal. When you pull back, it creates tension. That tension is power, because it reminds her she's not in control of the emotional rhythm anymore. And when she loses that control, the dynamic flips. You're no longer just a man. You're a signal she's trying to decode. The more neutral you stay, the more she projects. The less you give, the more valuable your energy becomes. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding leverage. Emotional scarcity creates value. And the man who learns to withhold, not out of ego, but from grounded self-respect, becomes unforgettable. Number 3. Her mind romanticizes mystery, not clarity. Most men believe that clarity builds connection, that if they explain themselves, show vulnerability early, and lay all their cards on the table, they'll win her over. But what they don't realize is that in a woman's psychological world, it's mystery, not clarity, that builds attraction. When you give her everything too soon, your time, your feelings, your daily routine, she figures you out quickly. And once that mystery is gone, so is the emotional tension. The chase dies. But when you remain unpredictable, when your words are fewer and your emotions harder to read, something powerful happens. Her mind starts to work overtime. She fills in the blanks. She begins to wonder who you really are. She starts creating storylines, possibilities, and meaning where there is none. And that's where the real magic lies. Because people don't fall for facts. They fall for fantasy. They don't fall in love with who you truly are. They fall in love with the version of you they construct in their minds. That version is shaped by silence, ambiguity, and unpredictability. The less you reveal, the more space she has to imagine. The more grounded and quiet you are, the more emotionally potent you become. Not by doing more, but by letting her do the work. By staying unknown, you remain powerful. You hold the one thing modern attention rarely gives her: uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, attraction thrives. Number 4, she's wired to chase high-value targets. In every environment, whether ancient tribes or modern dating apps, women have always been instinctively drawn to the highest value man. But it's not always the richest, the most muscular, or the flashiest. It's the man who doesn't need her. The one who isn't desperate for validation, who isn't seeking approval, and who doesn't fold the moment she pulls away. It's the man who can walk away without flinching. The one who's hard to impress. The one who can say no without hesitation. That man doesn't just show confidence, he radiates abundance. His behavior says, I have options. His silence says, I'm not chasing. His discipline says, my mission comes first. And women pick up on this energy instantly. It's not arrogance. It's emotional freedom. And freedom is magnetic. Because in a world full of men who bend over backward to keep her attention, the man who stands firm becomes rare. He doesn't try to prove his worth, he lives it. So when you don't respond right away, when you're not fawning over her beauty, when you stay focused on your goals, understand this. You're not being rude. You're signaling strength. You're showing that your life is already full. And ironically, that's what triggers her curiosity. That's the man she wants to impress. Not the one who hands her everything, but the one who makes her work to earn his attention. Because value isn't loud. It's quiet, calm, and self-assured. And that's exactly what draws her in. Number 5, her tests fail when you stay silent. Every time she pulls away, whether she ghosts you, flirts with other guys, or suddenly goes cold, it's not always random. It's often a test, a subconscious one. She wants to see what kind of man you are under pressure. Will you chase her? Will you beg for her time? Will you spiral into desperation? Most men fail this test instantly. They panic. They double text. They try to fix the vibe. And when they do, she sees it clearly. She has control. She owns the emotional frame. And just like that, the dynamic shifts. He becomes the one seeking, and she becomes the one deciding. But the man who stays silent, who doesn't react, who walks away with calm detachment, breaks the pattern. That silence flips the script. Suddenly, she's the one questioning. Wait, did I lose him? That tiny seed of doubt begins to grow. And here's what's important. It's not always about deep feelings. Sometimes, she may not even like you that much. But your emotional discipline becomes a challenge, a mirror to her own ego. And that ego hates to lose. It wants to win, to feel chosen. Your silence becomes the hook. Not because you're playing games, but because you refuse to be emotionally owned. And that's rare. That's powerful. So the next time she tests you, don't flinch. Don't chase. Let her wonder. Let her ego do the work. Because ignoring her isn't weakness, it's strategic leverage. The kind that only grounded men know how to use. Number 6, her ego needs to win, not her heart. Here's the brutal truth most men never see. Sometimes she doesn't want you out of love. She wants you because her ego can't handle losing you. When you were available, when you made her feel adored, when you responded quickly and gave her constant attention, she felt in control. She felt above you emotionally. But the moment you pulled back, when you stopped chasing, went silent, and focused on yourself, her power slipped away. And it's that loss of control she can't tolerate. Now, it's not your presence she misses. It's the influence she had over you, the way you used to orbit around her. She doesn't long for the connection. She longs for the feeling of being desired, of being chosen, of being the one in power. So she reappears. She flirts. She sends a random text. Maybe even acts like she misses you. But understand this, it's not love. It's ego survival. She's not trying to reconnect with your soul. She's trying to restore her dominance. And this is the trap, the false reconciliation. The moment you take the bait, the cycle begins again. She wins. You lose your power. That's why emotional awareness is everything. You're not always her true desire. Sometimes, you're just her unfinished game. A loose in her pride wants to tie up. Don't confuse ego-driven attention with real connection. Recognize the difference. Stay grounded in reality. Because when you understand the game, you stop being the pawn and become the player. If you're tired of always being the one who cares too much, gives too much, and ends up losing the most, it's time to shift. Not with anger, not with bitterness, but with clarity. Detachment isn't cold. It's conscious. It's the decision to stop pouring energy into someone who feeds on your reaction. Silence is not weakness. It's a weapon, a shield, a statement that says, "You don't control me anymore." When you ignore her, it's not to hurt her. It's to protect yourself, to reclaim your power. Because the man who can walk away quietly is the man who owns himself completely. Subscribe to Stoic 95 for deeper insights into dark psychology, emotional detachment, and how to master the silent tests women use to gain control. Become untouchable. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Stay stoic.